I don't even recognize this company anymore. I doubt if any of you do. 20 years ago, I was deep inside of Halo 2. I was playing Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty World at War. They were a bastion of creativity. And as VR began popping up around us, they were the first to say, "Get that out of here. I have no interest in it." They asked again, "Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to do something with this?" They said, "No, stop being retarded." Need this fantasy. And so that was it. They're not doing VR. They're just a gaming company. They make consoles, they make games. But then at some point, they stopped making games. They had that Xbox Connect debacle where they promised one thing and another was delivered. You know, this full body tracking was like vaporware. And with the exclusion of discs to where you don't own anything, it really hit me particularly hard when I bought the newest Xbox and I realized that I couldn't play Call of Duty even with my daughter in the same house. She's got one, I've got one, without buying and paying like over $100 in a subscription plan. Like you have to pay for multiplayer. It's literally pay to play. And I had some similar issues with the store through PlayStation 5, but nothing like this, nothing on this level. And when Xbox announced that like they were coming out with a handheld gaming machine to compete with the likes of the Steam Deck and the Rogue Ally, I admit I was a little bit excited. Like I wanted to see what this was going to be. And then they just wound up slapping their name on something that already existed. That was their whole plan. And then everything fell apart. The Xbox Quest 3, which is just a Quest 3 with the Xbox logo on it because you can stream games, which you could always stream games. Like right now, I could use like, you know, virtual desktop or Steam Link to play games with no lag. I have a whole library on my computer, but now when they spent years just tearing it down and VR is for nobody and now they want to come in and now they want to like piggyback off of the Quest 3 success.
He says, "I have some issues with VR. It's isolating and I think of games as a communal kind of together experience. We're responding to what our customers are asking for, and nobody's asking for VR."
And I found it distasteful and weird. So I found this, and this was a Facebook post that I came across. This was not some Reddit thing that I found like on the offskirts of something. This is real life. It says, "You're reading this from an Xbox. This is an Xbox in every dimension." And so they're piggybacking, you know, they're taking something that they never wanted anything to do with, and they're just saying, fine, this is our identity now. And I posted it on Twitter, X, and Steve Knows was quick to comment and say, "Is this real life? This can't be real. Where did you find this?" And I said, "No, this is my account. I found this ad out in the wild." And then like weeks later, I come across this. Xbox is making shoes now. The Xbox Classic Clog, $80 for Crocs. $80. And they've got the Xbox logo. They've got stupid ass buttons on the front. You can be an Xbox now. You're an Xbox. I'm an Xbox. We're all Xboxes. And so they've like relegated themselves to the corner where they don't produce hardware. They're not making groundbreaking games. They've abandoned the entire hemisphere that everyone else is contributing to between Steam and PlayStation and now Meta. I'm not sure what this video is for, except to say that I hate it. I think that Xbox is lazy and they should shut up and move out and get a real job. And ultimately, they're not serious people. They're not contributing seriously to anything. And I see this as I saw Blockbuster like circa 2009. But that's the thing. I mean, Blockbuster went out of business because they couldn't compete with the streaming landscape that eventually ruined all our lives. What's Xbox's excuse? I mean, they've created a hellscape that contributes nothing. They're not improving upon like anything that gamers care about. And this isn't just a rant that's meant to say, I wish they'd done VR. Why aren't they giving me VR? Meh. Like, I think I'd be fair in saying that because I'm mostly VR first. I have a great time in it, and I think it's stupid that they refuse to contribute to that space, but then they'll be happy to piggyback off that and put their name on the Meta Quest 3 and put their name on a Steam Deck competitor when they don't have the energy or gusto to build something themselves. Or when that falls through, they just turn to shoes. I fully expect I'm going to own Xbox underwear in due time. They might end up on Only. I could imagine like the host of the whatever podcast with the Xbox across from him on the table and all the ditzy, chicken heads sitting around him. And he's just talking to the Xbox and being like, what is it you do? What do you contribute to society? But that's not to say that much of anyone are really doing things correctly right now. I'm hopeful of the Steam machine and the accompanying Steam frame. I think that there's a lot up in the air about the price. I think that the Steam frame is for sure going to be about $1,000. But the Steam machine, when I first began talking about it, I had said between $800 and $1,200. And people told me that's a pipe dream, that's crazy, it's going to be competitive with a console, it'll be $500. And after everything that, Linus has shown us, I think it's fair to assume that they're not competing with a console. They're competing with an entry-level rig, which $1,200 might be kind of steep, but $900 could be a thing for sure. And they might take the market. They might just flip a switch and everything changes overnight. I have no idea, but what I do know is that Meta, who is currently king of VR just because of the price point no one else can compete with, they're doing great. I love how they're bringing people into the fold, and I'm excited to see all this competition unfold over the next year or two. But they also just declared that the game of the year, not by some vote, by sheer sales, is I Am Cat, which is the most dystopian and vapid and stupid title that they could have announced. It's so depressing when you have serious games from serious people dealing with caustics and IK structures and beautiful movement and motion captured characters that are moving with a fluidity that rivals even the most expensive AAA game. To have all these companies, developers putting so much work into so many games, and then to have it fall down and declare the game that made the most money for Meta was I Am Cat. And that's only because Gorilla Tag is free. It's dystopian for everything good that the Meta Quest is doing, for everything that they've done for the industry and kind of propping this up and pushing it forward and bringing us incredible pass-through experiences that even a year ago were useless to me. To be able to have full body occlusion so that when I put it in my hand, the world I'm looking at disappears behind it, that mixed reality experience, they've done a lot, but they're still focused on this awful, terrible storefront that puts a focus on games like I Am Cat and Gorilla Tag and the Horizon Worlds, which nobody asked for, nobody wanted. They want AAA experiences, and something like Alien Rogue Incursion or Batman is barely passing as a AAA experience. I like those games, I think they're cool, but they're not perfection. There are too many hiccups. Nobody can agree on what a good game mechanic is. And so you have all these developers using all these different methods. How should you grab something, and what should happen if you walk away from it? And what do you do when you put your head through a wall? Can you put your hands through the wall? All of these questions are unanswered, and everyone's competing for the best one, and everything is this separate experience. And meanwhile, as everyone's bickering over that, Meta's just pushing out this really kid-oriented, janky, really awful stuff. And it breaks my heart. But whatever they do, they're not selling shoes in lieu of a gaming console. And for that, Xbox is today, I'm sorry to say, cancel. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my members. And look at this, we're growing all the time. And you can become a member too by clicking right here. And in return, you get early access to all this content. And on occasion, we do marble runs as a way of saying thank you and giving back now and again. Don't forget to check out that Quest 3, Quest 3S sale, $50 off the Quest 3S, plus $30 Quest Cash across both the Quest 3 and the Quest 3S. If you're in it for Christmas, it's a great time, and save 20% on every game that you can think of, that I can think of, minus Deadpool. It's pretty broad, using the code BRINGHURST. Go out there, do it now, and you're probably seeing a video on the screen right now, which is to say that YouTube thinks that you might want to watch it, so click it, and Godspeed.